built this 101 KX250 shifter cart. So we're trying to get this thing perfect. So we're gonna blend the whites onto the black. But before we do that, we're gonna...
Well, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm actually going to be picking up a shifter cart from somebody that I know, and I think it's going to be somebody that you're going to know as well. I have massive plans for what I'm going to get. We got to travel somewhere down in Mexico. That looks good. It's a whole lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. You think you could put it to use?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was slaving away on this for like 2-3 months in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Put a lot of thought and work into it, but now that I've gotten better at fabbing.
Oh yeah.
It'd be much easier for me to build a new chassis to my liking instead of making this one work. It's just too heavy for my liking.
So he went around and showed me all of his builds, and they were amazing. A whole lot bigger than I thought they were.
It from kind of this angle right here, because I don't want to...
Wow, look at that. It's like racer seats. Carbon fiber steering wheel. It's a block of cheese. Dang, that looks cool. So it is the next day, and I finally got the shifter cart back home. I'm going to do a few things to it in today's episode. I'm not going to be able to start really working on it, but because I'm planning on taking some notes, and then I'm going to buy the things I need, then I'll start putting it back together. But right now, I'm wanting to just rinse it off and sand it and possibly do another touch-up of paint on it. So as you can see, there's some rust spots where the paint chipped off. Maybe it's not even rust, but it could be all over here. So I just want to sand it down a little bit with some probably like 40 grit, maybe 200 grit sandpaper. And then I'm going to rinse it off, sand it down, and possibly repaint it. But first, I also do want to go around and making a checklist of what I do need. And I do want to show what's on this cart. The way that Vasily built this, it was actually pretty smart. So first of all, we got the clutch, we got the brake, and then we got the gas pedal, which the gas pedal is not hooked up to a throttle cable. The clutch is still in there, thankfully. And then here's the brake, which if you push the brake fluid comes out somewhere around here. I think it's this one or this one, but the brake fluid shoots out. Back here was originally built for radiator, but if I put a Predator on it, then there's no need for a radiator. But I think it looks cool. I told Vasily that I might cut it off for weight reduction if I put a Predator on it, but looking at it now, I think it actually looks pretty cool, so I might leave it. I still don't know if a Predator, I might put a different, more stronger engine on it instead of a Predator. There's a big bucket seat. Steering wheel, I'm gonna need to get a new steering wheel. I might get one of those carbon fiber ones off Amazon for really cheap. I want to do this build on a budget. But the paddle shifters, I always kind of wondered how he did it. And that's actually crazy. I don't know if they're broken right now or not, but I don't think they are. Hydraulic brakes, which is fantastic. Of course, this was originally built for like a dirt bike engine, but I'm actually planning on using a different engine for it, and a cheaper one at that. I might use a Predator for time being to make sure it works after I replace it. And then I'm planning on, I might see if I could afford to get a cheap motorcycle. Big enough it should be able to fit a motorcycle engine on it. I might have to rework some of the metal stuff. Let's get into cleaning.
So this cart got a little dirty from being stored away for a while, so I decided to go ahead and rinse it off and use degreaser on it. I know that normally you do not use degreaser on paint or let it sit there on paint because it will eat it up, but I took it and was careful with not allowing the degreaser to dissolve the paint. I went ahead and cleaned it and got it ready to be sanded.
So I'm taking 180 grit sandpaper. I do not want to take all the paint off. I just want to smooth out where the rust is. When I paint this, I do want to be careful by not getting paint all over the grips and stuff. So I'm going to cover that part up, and that should be it. And that part too.
So I took my 180 grit sandpaper and I started sanding on areas that had a little bit of rust that was kind of rough around the edges. So I sanded them down and smoothed them out, and then I used the blue rag to get all the dust off so that it would be ready to be painted. It was really easy to sand this down because it wasn't covered in rust like some of my other projects. So it didn't take it long at all. I went back and wiped out all the water that was left over from washing the frame, and I decided to try to get all the dirt and grime off with it as well.
All these bolts and stuff still look new. I was expecting a little more rust than that. Yeah, I was expecting more rust than that. I could easily sand that down, clean all that off everywhere. I feel like this is going to be a really good build and easy to do. I sanded it all down in like an hour, and I could easily repaint it. I'm glad I took off the seat now, but I don't know why I didn't do that before. I guess I wasn't thinking. I got that, sand it down, I'm going to paint it, then I'm going to put the seat back on after I clean the bottom of it and clean it out completely. It's just easier to clean when it's not attached to the actual frame. This seat is actually really light. Oh, wow. So, it just needs to be cleaned off a little bit. There's rust from the metal that was down there. So that would clean off. So I just used some degreaser. That should come straight off. Let's go. Oh, dang it. Oh, I keep forgetting everything apparently now. It's crazy. Alright, it's time to let the cart dry before I paint it. I'm wanting to keep the original color combination just to keep it about the same. I do not really want to change up the color. I think it looks good as it is. I just finished the black paint, and it looks like it's brand new when Vasily first painted his. It's crazy. Now I still got to do the white, but I need to sand it down a little more, especially on the front right there where I already painted it. Yeah, I need to figure out what holes go where for the new steering wheel. Looks like he left one little screw right here that I'm going to need to hit out with a hammer so I could actually get steering wheel in here. And then the shifter paddles, if I put a Predator engine on this frame, then it wouldn't be a shifter cart. You can't shift. But if I decide to go ahead and do like a motorcycle engine or something, find it really cheap, then it'd still be a shifter engine with a clutch and everything. Up with these ants. They're all over the place. They've been crawling all over this thing, and they still are. I killed one, but so I'm finished with the paint for now. I went ahead and painted the white paint off screen so y'all wouldn't get bored. So I got y'all's back. I might see if I could get some front tires for this thing, and then put them on. So this is the original seat that went on it. I'm going to reuse it, but I'm going to go buy these little circles around the holes where the washers have been. So I'm going to use that to adjust this back the way it was. And hopefully I can get a cheap carbon fiber or normal steering wheel that will fit on this cart. I think I could get a pretty decent steering wheel for cheap on Amazon or eBay or somewhere, but it could be carbon fiber for weight reduction, or it could be a normal one. Just want to make sure it's kind of small, because if it's too big, then you can't really fit your knees or legs on it.
So I spent the next few minutes putting the seat back on and getting it ready. The seat was washed and the chassis was cleaned. Everything fit perfectly.
So that's going to be it for today's video. I decided to cut it right here because I finished most of everything I can today. I might look into getting tires. I still have to put on the seat, and please stay tuned. Hopefully I can make it faster than Vasily's. Maybe, hopefully. If I can't, then he one-upped me on that one. But see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.